Hey, welcome back to Minimum Discount Broccoli once again. And today we're gonna be making the last part of the series where we rate our Pokemon. At least till the Donald Duck gets more news. So, we stopped at rating legendary Pokemon till Sinnoh last time, and this time we're gonna begin right from the next region, that is Unova. Let's get right into it because we have a lot more to be rating. So, for Unova, let's begin with the genies. Everyone agrees on how they're pretty ugly, and well, they are. So I'd give all the genies a 3 on 10. Maybe Thundurus gets a 4. They all just don't look very nice, and they hardly have any lore except they change the weather and they're good for your crops. And I'm a Pokemon player, not a farmer, so I don't really like the genies. Thundurus still has like this cool looking thunder ring around it, which makes it better than the other two, and its colors are less jarring too. So that's about the genies, not much to talk there. And the same goes for Meloetta. It has the most plain design ever. It was a good concept of making a musical Pokemon, but the execution was pretty terrible. It looks like a person and a meme at the same time, and not in a really good way. So Meloetta gets a 4 on 10. They could have done it much better. It could have been such a cool Pokemon, but well, they failed, and it's about a few generations back, so I don't think they'll be correcting that any soon unless they make a new regional variant for it. I don't really like the other form of it either, although it looks a little better and a little more efforts went into that form. Moving on to the ones we do like from Unova, there are quite a few of them, although none of them are exceptionally well. The first one is going to be Cobalion from the trio. Cobalion, just like the other two, has the best battle music in the game. I love that battle music, how it slows down and speeds up and stuff. I also love the color of Cobalion, the cobalt color, that it literally embodies its name. And the face looks pretty intimidating. It's a clean design, it looks powerful, and I love the smooth head it gets as a reindeer. So Cobalion with an 8. Next we move on to Genesect, which is another 8 on 10 from me. A Team Plasma Pokemon. This is like a reboot of Mewtwo. I even love its name, how it's both Genesis and, gene mixed with insect. So there's a lot going on in its name. It's a bug that has been fossilized. I love the cannon on the back of a bug. I also love how its arms are, and its cry fits it pretty perfectly too. Although I think the colors aren't the most standing out, which is why it stays at 8 on 10 for me. Next we move on to Zekrom. And although it's bulky like every main legendary Pokemon on the box as box art, it still gets an 8 on 10 because of how its tail and head get lit into blue color. I do, and that's the right blue to choose for plasma or electricity. I also love the scene that it gets for its signature move Fusion Bolt, and I'm also glad that they didn't make it a furry like its counterpart, that is Eshiram. It also has a Z in its name, which gives it that added bonus, so it's an 8 on 10 from me. In short, Unova gave us a pretty good set of decent designs, but nothing too exceptional. Next, let's move on to Gen 6 Kalos. And Kalos or Kalis or whatever is based on France, like we've discussed before. So here there weren't many legendary Pokemon, and nor was there much to rate, but the worst one would be Hoopa. Although I rate its two forms differently, and for once the normal form gets a better rating than its other form. So Hoopa's normal form looks pretty cute, mischievous, it's got that personality, and it has a compact design. I love how the rings are, on its arms and ears and whatnot. But its unbound form, on the other hand, gets a 4 on 10 from me. And well, it's pretty obvious why. The unbound form looks pretty ugly to me, has these weirdly floating arms, and its nose does not do it any good either, nor does it fit the name. Hoopa sounds like the mythical Pokemon. It sounds like, a typical mythical Pokemon with the cute looking things for it, but Hoopa Unbound, on the other hand, does not look like that at all. Not to mention, it doesn't, I don't even know how this thing moves. It looks like a starved human who has walked out of a cave after 10 years and hasn't really shaved and stuff like that. So shave your armpits for later please. And next we go on to Yveltal or Yveltal, oh whatever. Well, the Y Pokemon. It gets a straight up 9 on 10. First of all, it's the Y Pokemon. Second, they made it look like a Y without making it look like I mean, making it obviously a terrible design. Making something based on an alphabet isn't the best idea, and they took that risk up, but they executed it pretty well, I'd say. So you will tell gets a 9 on 10 for that. I also love the fur coat on its neck and the battle music it gets. I also love Oblivion Wing and the idea of it being the Pokemon of war and death and a phoenix at the same time. It's got a lot going for it. Even the colors, red and black, are always a chef's kiss on a Pokemon. And of course, I love how they've made the arms and tail for it, which is kind of like Lugia, except the tail isn't. The tail kind of also looks like the razor you'd trim yourself with. No, this isn't going into a sponsor, but yup, you will tell is a great design. Moving on to the next region, that is Alola, where we are counting the Ultra Beasts. This is where I feel they did some good designs, but before that, let's talk about some bad Ultra Beasts, and that would start with Stakataka. Okay, first of all, we come to the name. Not really a nice name. Second, this Pokemon is literally bricks, and it's got eyes in the middle somewhere, and that's about it. Its color isn't very appealing either, and it's a bulky design, so it doesn't really fit my idea of a good legendary Pokemon. Plus, well, I really don't know what it has going for it. They literally just took a non-living thing and put eyes on it. So if you find it appealing, good for you. Next we move on to Solgaleo or Solgaleo, and this one looks quite out of place. I give it a 4 on 10. It's not really bad, but for a legendary, it's not really good either. Especially that should be the main legendary and the box art and stuff. It looks like it's out of a mecha anime that you won't really want to watch. It's too bright for a Pokemon, and well, it doesn't really look cosmic as compared to its counterpart Lunala. Doesn't even look like evolution to its Pokemon, I mean its previous thing, whatever, Cosmoem, and just looks like a better Pyro, maybe a fan art version of Pyro or something like that. So not really a fan of Solgaleo. Now let's move on to the ones I love from this place, however. So first we start with Poipole. So it looks like a combination of a mythical and a legendary, which is very cool. I love how it has its personality in there, which is hard to get for legendary Pokemon considering how intimidating they must look, but this guy looks pretty nasty at the same time. I love the colors it has, and I love how it has pipes in its body, and the pipes have been made to seem like they're a part of the body, which is pretty well done and commendable. And when we extend that design to its evolution, Naganadel or Naganadel, it gets a 10 on 10 from me. It looks super cool. It's the perfect evolution to Poipole, which was already a great one. Its proportions are all done right. I love the pose it takes. It looks deadly, and I love how its tail is this one massive pipe that would shoot you with acid. If you stood in front of this guy, I'm pretty sure you're not going to survive. And the same goes for Guzzlord, which is another Ultra Beast. I love the typing Dragon and Dark. Pretty cool types, and the name itself, Guzzlord, well, it looks like it's gonna guzzle you down too, and that mouth. So this guy gets a straight up 9 on 10. I love how its mouth becomes mouths in a mouth, and that concept always fascinates me. I even love the arms it has, which are kind of like these tools that help you catch on things. So I love the overall design, the coloring, just like Naganadel, and it looks dreadful like it's supposed to. Both these Pokemon also get their own planets, which is such a cool way of introducing them, but only in Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun. However, that's fun enough. Finally, we move on to Marshadow. My only favorite mythical Pokemon is Marshadow. I give it a straight up 9 on 10 for how cool it looks. It's pretty much the best mythical, as I said. Looks like an assassin. Also, it looks strong for a mythical. Generally, these mythical look squishable, but this guy looks like he's that silent kid, and if you mess with him, you are so dead. I also love how it's generally just black and dull, but it can change colors all the time. So it's a very cool design, and the name, of course, Marshadow. It's a thief too, and an assassin. There's not much more to say about this guy, except that I'd love to have him on my shoulder. Of course, on my side, not trying to kill me. And with that, we're done with Alola. Finally, let's get to Galar. And if Galar did one thing wrong, it was its legendary Pokemon. I didn't enjoy the legendary Pokemon in Galar at all. This starts with Calyrex. When the DLC came in, I mean, half the hype was kinda dead, and that goes for these legendary too. So, not to mention, Calyrex is just a big brain deer thing I don't really even know what it is, and its brain looks like a cabbage. Its face isn't really cool either. Doesn't give out any personality except that one piece of shit that you really don't want to get close to, because they're always arrogant about what they've done and they really haven't done anything. And of course, if you don't like the deer with the cabbage brain, you don't like its horses either. Spectre and Glacier are even worse than Calyrex. I'd give them a 3 on 10. They're hardly even noticeable. First of all, they came out in the DLCs just like it, and they're not really easy to even notice as legendary Pokemon. I'd consider them to be normal wild Pokemon, and that too they don't really even match up to Pokemon standards. They look more like some other dungeon game that you'd probably play for once in your lifetime and drop it. They are little horses, and I think Rapidash would have made a better legendary than them, considering how cool its shiny looks. So I really don't like these two horses. The only Pokemon that I do like from Galar is not even from Galar. Oh well, it kind of is. I'd give Galarian Moltres a 9 on 10. Those colors are such a good choice. I even love the typing, and I mean, that's all they changed about it, but that's how they perfectly made it into the best regional variant. Making a regional variant out of a legendary was such a cool idea, and Moltres executed that perfectly. Not really a fan of Zapdos, since, well, I don't really understand what it has going for it, but Articuno and Moltres were done very well. Articuno comes close to an 8, and Moltres gets a 9 on 10. I love the mask on its face, and that's about it. So this time there were a lot more to be rated, and I think I did them justice this time, since there was a lot more to talk about in them, except I kind of missed the lore for a few of them, especially in Galar, because I didn't really get to play the games myself, just watch some other guys play it. Anyway, what do you guys feel about this series? Let me know if you want me to make more series like these, or any new ideas that you have in mind. Let us know. Also, don't forget to debate me in the comment section. I'm always ready to send you 500 word text for debate. So stay vegan, keep eating your broccolis, and see you guys next time.